China claims to be a victim of terror in Xinjiang, but blocks sanctions against terrorists like Sajid Mir, and not once, but multiple times. And China has done that in the past with that Maulana of terror, Masood Azhar. Sir, do you agree when it's said that President Xi Jinping has blood of innocents of 23 countries on his hands too?
Well, I mean, as you said, China itself is a victim of separatist terrorism. But the point being that, of course, that all countries should condemn acts of terrorism involving innocent citizens, destruction of public utilities like hospitals and so on and so forth. Rather than targeting the perceived enemy, but unfortunately, these kind of actions involve politics. What is regarded as terrorism or as terrorists in one country could be regarded as patriots in another. I mean,
so you would call East Turkestan Islamic movement patriots?
Well, of course, the East.
No, you would not. I've known you to be a very articulate speaker. This is the first time I've seen you woeful for answers. You're waffling on this broadcast, and because perhaps you know what China is doing is wrong. What President Xi Jinping is doing is wrong. You know that, sir. And yet it's been happening for 14 years and counting. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation in the US gathered evidence against David Coleman Headley. He was convicted. India gathered evidence against Ajmal Amir Kassab. He was convicted and hanged. Pakistan gathered evidence including the training of these 10 Pakistani terrorists, including Kassab, at Thakta, Sindh. And yet Sajid Mir sanctions are blocked by China. Politics over cross-border terrorism. Isn't this actually defeating the global war on terror, sir?
Greetings. The fact remains that China's definition of terrorism or terrorist is slightly different from that of the world. Innocent students who are asking for basic freedoms and respect for human rights, I'm talking of 1989, are terrorists. Peaceful Tibetans who are asking for the right to worship are terrorists. Uyghur Muslims are terrorists. But those who kill innocent people are not terrorists. Well, if this is how a country which is a P5 country, a country which, when there is a multilateral conference or there is a plurilateral conference, signs on to anything. But when it comes to action, looks the other way, or rather aids and abets terrorism, what do? That is the irony, because country after country are selective when it comes to terrorism. And let us face facts. There is yet another powerful country which finds Taliban, ISIS and Al-Qaeda as terrorists, but not ISI, which finds on Mondays Pakistan to be the most dangerous country in the world, but on Wednesdays finds it an ally, on Friday finds it a rent seeker, and on Sunday leaves you to guess. Now, it is a very selective world out there, and that is the whole problem.